From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fairbanks Evening News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Today was the 17th day of Superior Court proceedings for the 4 men who claimed they were wrongfully convicted of a 1997 murder here in Fairbanks.
We have more now in this report.
More witnesses testified today for the state of Alaska as prosecutor Adrian Bachman seeks to uphold the conviction of the group of men known as the Fairbanks Four. One of the state's witnesses began her testimony yesterday afternoon.
More than one.
And they were large enough that you could see?
They were visible splat type stains on those finishes.
Hoffman, who is the girlfriend of Kenny Mayo, testified at length about the night of the Hartman murder. She says during a night of partying at the Mayo household, she witnessed Marvin Roberts come home and engage in a conversation with his uncle. It was after that conversation, she testified, she accompanied the man to a nearby dumpster where they disposed of a pair of bloody shoes.
Conversation of what I was going by what Kenny said, and assumably that would be the reasons of why we are taking the tennis shoes out to a dumpster. And getting rid of them is because of what Martin told his uncle.
But it was the apparent confession to Fairbanks Police Department that took up much of this morning's proceedings. Former Deputy DA Scott Mattern testified about an email string he received that contained a fax from the Department of Corrections in California.
We did more than we were required to do by even asking them to follow up on it.
Mattern, who prosecuted Jason Wallace for the bludgeoning death of Tika Bakode, testified about his 2002 trial.
Bill Holmes and Jason Wallace had made a plan to kill 6 people, including a child, didn't they?
Yes.
Recall that Mr. Wallace then returned back to Ms. Bacote's apartment building where a number of other families lived, and he attempted to set that building on fire. You recall that part of the case?
No, I don't recall that part of the case because he didn't attempt to set the building on fire. He set it on fire.
He says the alleged confession by Holmes wasn't credible in his mind due to the fact that Wallace had previously testified against Holmes in a double murder the duo planned out in order to take over the drug game here in Fairbanks.
It's highly suspect that now Mr. Holmes is accusing Mr. Wallace of something, and the fact that Mr. Wallace testified against Mr. Holmes in a trial.
Wallace, who's been at the center of this post-conviction relief case for the Fairbanks Four as the actual assailant in the 1997 murder of Hartman, is set to take the stand later this week and testify under a grant of immunity. This is Stephanie Woodard reporting. TransCanada fully supports Governor Bill Walker's proposal to buy out the company's interest in the Alaska LNG project that, according to Vincent Lee, the director of major projects for TransCanada, made the comments during a House Finance Committee hearing in Juneau today. The state legislature is meeting in a third special session of this year to decide whether or not to fund the governor's plan. The agreement between the state and TransCanada includes off-ramps that allow the state to terminate its agreement with TransCanada. Lee says if the legislature decides not to fund the buyout, the company would have the right to look for other potential buyers. He says the time is right for TransCanada to be removed from the project.
TransCanada has concluded that it is no longer commercially reasonable to remain in the Alaska LNG project. TransCanada supports the appropriation for buying out TransCanada's interest in the Alaska LNG project. It is the state's prerogative under the present agreement to terminate the agreement with TransCanada, and we respect the recommendations of the administration.
The Senate Finance Committee grilled Alaska Attorney General Craig Richards this morning on a letter committee members were made aware of earlier the day. The letter, dated October 14th and signed by Governor Walker, states that in order to coordinate a single voice for the state of Alaska on the TransCanada buyout, all documents and presenters must go through the State Attorney General's office. Earlier in the meeting, the committee was informed that the CEO of the Alaska Gas Line Development Corporation, Dan Fausk, was instructed not to come to the Capitol to testify before the committee. Senator Peter Machicki of Soldotna called for a more transparent approach in getting information to legislators.
I believe in absolutely transparent government, Mr. Richards, and you can probably understand why it sort of gives the impression that the message is being controlled when someone is asked not to testify. And
Fausk testified telephonically before the committee this afternoon.
All right, when we come back, the University of Alaska Museum of the North is getting into the Halloween spirit with projects and other fun things planned on Friday.
Also, after months of construction, Cushman Street finally took down the barriers and opened the street to the public. Finally, stay with us. Welcome back. Cushman Street is open to the public after several months of construction. The downtown Signature Street was open for drivers last night. Changes to Cushman Street include wider lanes and sidewalks for traffic and pedestrians. New traffic lights are also online. Construction crews encountered several delays that affected Cushman Street's opening date, including unidentified water mains, electrical outlets, and inclement weather. City engineer Robert Perstesh says the Cushman Complete Street project is not complete just yet. He adds that additional sidewalk construction, lighting, and tree fixtures are to be placed along the street by this summer.
82 trees that have got to be planted. There's shrubbery at the back of sidewalks along Sadler's parking lot. There's shrubbery there. Street furniture, there's like 102 planters that are going to be put on the sidewalk. So there's a lot of surface features that have to be installed yet.
Yesterday, Alaska U.S. Senator Lisa Murkowski examined the impacts of the proposed stream protection rule. The Interior Department estimates that this rule would cost the coal industry $52 million in annual compliance costs, and industry estimates that this proposed rule could cost up to 78,000 coal jobs nationwide. Murkowski, chair of the Senate Energy and Natural Resources Committee, noted that in Alaska, where climate and permafrost alone will likely prohibit compliance with these new regulations, mine permitting could face considerable uncertainty if the rule is finalized. She said one part of the proposed rule is very troubling.
Under the proposed rule, a mine permit would be void retroactively to the date of issuance if the issuance is found to have been based on substantially inaccurate baseline information. What I'm told is that this is absolutely frightening, that it brings about immeasurable liability issues and considerable uncertainty.
Two members of the Fairbanks School Board took their oath of office, followed by a nomination voting for administrative positions within the board. Superior Court Judge Paul Lyle swore in board members Heidi Haas and Lisa Gentry during his free time. Haas and Gentry will serve with the school board on seats A and B for the next 3 years. Following their oath of office, the board renominated Haas to serve as president of the board through the next school year. Gentry was also nominated to take the place of Wendy Dominique as vice president of the board. Member Michael O'Brien was also nominated to serve as clerk, with Allison Lambert continuing the next school year as treasurer. Haas says the board is committed to executing a strategic plan that mitigates district budgeting shortfalls.
Expanding our BEST program, which is the homeschooling option, an independent learning center, which is really focused on bringing kids from around the district and providing them with opportunities for CTE credits and technology and things like that.
The University of Alaska's Museum of the North is inviting families to enjoy Halloween the day before Halloween. Communications manager Teresa Bacher says Halloween at the museum is not just a day for trick-or-treating. Kids and adults alike will be able to enjoy a day at the museum with spooky exhibits featuring bones, birds, bugs, and bats. They will also get to tour the museum's research labs. Bacher adds that the Museum of the North is partnering with the Fairbanks Community Food Bank for its event this year. Families receive free admission with a donation of canned food.
It's a chance to see the part of the museum that is not normally on display for the public, and to meet the collection managers and our curators and the scientists who work here, and you get to see science experiments and do crafts.
Joe Cook is up next with sports. Two programs at a local high school will aim to continue their dominance in volleyball and swimming.
More on that, plus highlights from the big leagues after the break.
Welcome back, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here with your local Wednesday sportscast. As the high school volleyball regular season gets closer to finishing, rivalry games are on the schedule. Last night, late, the Malamutes hosted the West Valley Wolfpack for senior night. West Valley coming in undefeated as well. The opening set was tit for tat. No one had a lead larger than 2 points. Cheyenne Dybert, though, she was busy with 7 kills and 15 assists to go along with 2 blocks to lead the Mutes. They were very close in that first set. West Valley will win it 25-23. The Wolfpack's Ruthie Hebert, she set the tone with a match-high 10 kills and 5 blocks. So West Valley led by as much as 10 in set 2 for a 25-19 win. Lathrop's 5 seniors helped rally the team in the last 2 sets, but West Valley won by the same score in the third set for the sweep. West Valley clinches the MAC title with the victory. The Pack are 12-0 and 4-0 in the MAC, but they have some things they need to work on.
for some odd reason, we just can't seem to step on the court and just fire up. We have to have our back against the wall and claw back. And I mean, we've been able to get away with it, but the day's going to come where that's not going to happen. So yeah, I'd like to see him step on the court and take care of business.
Third set, I think they played well, but I think in all the sets they played well. I mean, they came back from being down by 10 in the second set, and I believe they came within a few points at the end. So all in all, good performance all around. Really proud of our seniors.
Across town, the Monroe Rams met up with the Delta Junction Huskies in this Aurora Conference match. It was all Monroe in this one, and they were deadly from the service line. Brianna Lundgren led the Rams with 8 aces. Giselle Hollis and Jamie Heyman both had 6 aces as well. Monroe served 27 aces as a team and a 25-14, 25-8, 25-12 sweep of the Huskies. 4 Rams had 4 or more kills, led by Kiana King's 9 terminations. Monroe improves to 12-5 overall and 7-1 in the Aurora Conference. The Rams will have senior night this Thursday as they host the Galena Hawks. The high school swimming season will be wrapping up in a couple weeks as teams get ready for regionals. Thursday is the opening night of the Swim and Dive Region 6 Championships. The West Valley Wolfpack are coming off one of their more dominant seasons as they've been victorious in all the local meets. The Wolfpack program are in position to sweep the girls and boys region titles for the 8th straight year. That's 2 classes of swimmers with region titles. That will be what they're trying to do this weekend. Other swimmers like North Pole's Joshua Handelin, Nicole McIntosh, and Lathrop's Alex Suleimani will be in the running for some individual titles as well. Regions start at 7 p.m. on Thursday with the diving prelims. The Westcott Pool and North Pole at North Pole Middle School will be hosting this year's regionals. The state meet is November 6th and 7th at Bartlett High School. Switching to the big leagues now, in Game 1 of the World Series was a heck of a way to start off the championship series between the Royals and the Mets. This game went to extras, 14 innings. There was even a broadcast outage from Fox Sports 1, which delayed the game a few minutes. But Alex Gordon had the late game dramatics with this game-tying home run to force extras for the Royals. Big hit there. There are all sorts of ways to score in baseball, and this game ended on a walk-off sacrifice fly by Derek Hosmer, another clutch hitter for Kansas City. The game lasted 5 hours and 9 minutes, the 3rd longest World Series game ever. The Royals take a 1-0 lead in the World Series. And the NBA season opened on Tuesday night as well. Fall is one of the best times of year for sports fans as all the major sports are going on. The headline from opening night is the Chicago Bulls win a tight 97-95 decision over the Cleveland Cavaliers. LeBron James had 25 points and 10 boards, but Paul Gasol rejected his game-tying attempt in the last seconds to secure the win. Derrick Rose had 18 points and 5 assists for Chicago despite wearing the mask. In Detroit, they won 106-94 over Atlanta, the defending regular season Eastern Conference champs. And the Golden State Warriors received their championship rings and opened the year with a 111-95 win over the New Orleans Pelicans. Steph Curry scored 40 points. It's the second most points scored on opening night by a reigning MVP in league history. Finally, someone is getting some grub. Here's the Week 7 winner for the KTVF Pro Football Challenge. The winner is the Bear AK. Congratulations, Bear. You win a large one-topping pizza from Pizza Hut. The Bear made 12 out of 14 picks right and was the random draw winner of the 3-way tie for first place. As we look at the PFC standings, after 7 weeks, defending champion True Grit 69 is on top with 74 points. The Finns are second with 72, followed by Scott and Brewster. I made 9 picks right last week and have a nice lead over Mike Fussell, 49-43. Getting your picks for Week 8 Thursday Night Football features the Dolphins at the Patriots. And that'll do it for sports tonight. Mike Schultz is up next with weather, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into our Wednesday night newscast. Mike Schultz with you once again talking about the weather, and the clouds start rolling in this evening. And we're looking at a good chance of snow developing later on tonight and a better chance of seeing some snow tomorrow. Maybe even a little accumulation. We'll tell you about that in just a little bit. Our photograph tonight, a very nice one sent in by Selena Powers. Sunset on the Alaska Range. You can see all the nice colors there and the majestic look that Alaska Range has. It really does look nice in the sunshine at times. Again, if you have a photograph to share, send it to photos@ktvf11.com. Your numbers, today's high 33, the low last night 25. The record high was 51 in 2013. The record low 17 below in 1953. Your sunrise and sunset 8 hours and 18 minutes. And we lose another 7 minutes from yesterday. and our satellite and radar. Again, you can see a little more moisture starting to work its way past the Alaska Range and into the interior. It's surrounding the Fairbanks area, but nothing being reported. But it's just only a matter of time till it works its way in here. And here's the cold front starting to work its way down from the northwest. That will help to intensify the opportunity for that. The radar, again, is showing a lot of clouds and showers around the area, but nothing in the general Fairbanks or North Pole areas. And maybe there's some showers down around the Delta Junction arena. But other than that, things are looking pretty good. Across the rest of the state, the rain continues to fall over the Ketchikan area, but it has stopped around Juneau, 47 degrees there. Ketchikan looking at a temperature of 49 degrees. Anchorage a little cloudy and foggy today. Showers continuing around the Kodiak region. 47 and partly cloudy at Cold Bay. Up and down the west coast, 34 and 35 at Nome and Bethel. And to the north slope, we're looking again at temperatures very chilly. 6 degrees at Barrow. How about that? Fort Yukon, 25. Lower 48 weather, a little more activity going on over the Pacific Northwest. Once again, more showers. And temperatures close to 80 degrees at Las Vegas, close to 90 in Phoenix. And a very nice day in Texas as they continue to dry out after all the storminess they had a few days ago. A little chilly in Minneapolis, 47 degrees, their first snows falling for the year. And over the southeast, temperatures once again the low 80s, some showers there. Over the northeast, New York 70, also Washington, D.C. 70. On the satellite radar, look at this area of low pressure here spinning around. The blues and purples, that indicates freezing precipitation. Either it's sleet or it's snow, but it is definitely looking at a wintertime situation there, and more rain falling across the west coast. The overall outlook for tomorrow, and in fact it actually was today, was cooler temperatures, bringing a mix of rain and snow across many of the Great Lakes states and across much around the Great Lakes itself, period. Chilly conditions. And the jet stream will once again start to drive down to the center part of the country, which will help to usher in more weather across the Great Lakes and across the Pacific Northwest. Time once again for our kids' weather, and this week we're talking with the kids from Hunter Elementary School. And tonight, here's a young lady with a picture to share.
My name's Amari. I'm in Mrs. Delnick's 4th, 5th grade class at Hunter Elementary, and this is my weather picture. This is me and my friends. We were at the lake, and then it started raining, and then lightning hit a tree, and it almost hit my friend. And then we had to go in the car, and then we had to leave. The end.
Yeah, lightning's always scary. Again, thanks to Mount McKinley Bank for sponsoring our kids' weather each night. And tomorrow night, another young lady will be here with a question about snow and Halloween. Here's your forecast for Alaska for tomorrow. In the northern sections, mostly cloudy. A little snow showers activity for Fort Yukon and Barrow with partly cloudy skies in Nome. Here in the interior, once again, we'll see a change going on. In fact, we're looking at periods of snow across the region with 2 to 4 inches possible in all areas. And as far as southeast Alaska, looking at scattered showers from Juneau all the way down to Ketchikan. While out to the southwest, it looks like cloudy skies at Cold Bay, mostly sunny skies for Bethel, and some showers still hanging around the Kodiak region. And down around the Anchorage area, cloudy skies with rain in Anchorage and Homer, and just some scattered showers in Valdez. On our forecast for the remainder of the night, again, we're calling for clouds and snow possibly developing later on tonight, 25 for the overnight low. Tomorrow's forecast, right around freezing with periods of snow through the day, 1 to 3 inches as possible. And the extended forecast calling for the snow to continue into Friday. And then on Halloween, we're looking at temperatures dropping down, like I said, overnight to around 10 degrees for the overnight low. And then the rest of the 5-day period, as you can see, snow back into the picture on Monday and Tuesday with temperatures rising back to around 30 degrees. So it looks like it should be a white Halloween.
I think so. And wow, 10 for an overnight low?
Yeah.
That's
our normal low is 4 above, so we're still above normal. So.
See? It's a barn cooker.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you, Mike.
Like that.
That will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Well, tonight on NBC Nightly News, a runaway billion-dollar surveillance blimp went down in Pennsylvania today. That's up next with Lester Holt.
All right, for more news updates and school bus schedules, join Mike Fussell tomorrow morning during the Today Show.
And from all of us here at the News Center, have a good night.
Good night.